Pages to Stages presents Bill Joyner, conflict resolution expert. Bill Joyner provides students with the tools they need to succeed in areas of anger management and career development. Mr. Joyner retired from the Wayne County Sheriff Department in Detroit and founded the Project Rebuild Mentoring Program in 1986. He is an award-winning presenter and a part-time minister who has been described as an experienced, gifted leader, a great team player whose love for God, young people, and the hood is obvious and infectious. Listen closely as he will leave you with conflict resolution tools that you can put to use today.
Please give it up for Mr. Bill Joyner.
What we're going to do real quick at Madison High School is first of all recognize that we have freshmen and we have sophomore students. Whenever you bring in an urban culture or urban community and you connect them with the suburban culture or community, you're going to have a dynamic mix. Listen to me. There's gang violence, there's hostility, there's frustration, but Dr. King said it best. He said the true measure of a man, or even a woman, generically, isn't during times of convenience and opportunity, but yet during times of conflict and resolution. Listen to me, get this point. There's a scripture that says, or even a prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You know like I know, when you come to school every day, you're going to be confronted with gangs, you're going to be confronted with obstacles, you're going to be in situations and conditions, and you have to respond to them. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's why I did that. In just 5 years from now, that's how quick time will pass. And you will no longer be at Madison. You'll no longer be in Oakland or Macomb County. You'll no longer be in Wayne County. You'll find yourself now at a junior college. You'll find yourself with an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree or maybe even a master's degree. And 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll find yourself with a doctorate of philosophy degree. You'll be doctors and lawyers and engineers. But I gotta share with you a story. There was a movie called The Great Debater, and Denzel Washington was the lead actor. There were two schools, pay attention to this. Wiley College from Marshall, Texas, and Harvard University from Cambridge, Massachusetts. They had two debate teams. There was a 14-year-old boy who had double and triple promoted, and now he's in college. He actually was standing in front of scholars and educators in front of a podium, and he's sharing his elocution. Guess what he said? He said, my team, while in Texas, we witnessed a lynching mob. And during that time period, we felt fear and we felt shame. And the mob was the criminal. And the law did nothing to help us to understand why. Now, he also quoted from St. Augustine, who said that unjust law is no law at all. And when you're confronted with obstacles, when you're confronted with problems by your peers and others that you just met who have bullied you and taken you there, I don't want you to match eye for eye. I don't want you to match evil for evil. I don't want you to get into a fight or a situation where you might end up getting 18 from the school. Here's what this young man said. If you are ever confronted with violence and you're defending yourself, you have the right, even the duty, to resist with violence or civil disobedience. But he said to that audience, you better pray I choose to laugh. Here's what I'm asking you to do. The police department, the sheriff's department, the federal government, we're asking you to do one thing. We're asking you to promise that once you become a doctor and a lawyer, once you become a psychiatrist and a psychologist, once you become a school teacher and a principal and a facility worker here, once you become a social worker, once you become an entrepreneur, once you own the Detroit Pistons now and the Lions and the Red Wings, once you become an owner of something, after you've grown up, listen, after you become ambitious, after you become astronomically strong, you're no longer a child. You have helicopters, you have airplanes, You have airports. You own something. We're going to ask you to do one thing. And I want you to do an exercise for me. We're going to ask you that when you meet your oppressor, when you meet the person who ran you home from school, when you